What's up, Taiwan? I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. 8 people have died from influenza in Taiwan, including a 3-year-old girl. They were among the more than 100,000 people to report flu symptoms last week. It was the highest number of cases for the same period in 3 years. Doctors say a drop in people wearing masks after years of COVID restrictions is allowing new influenza viruses to spread. The dragon is traditionally the most popular Chinese zodiac sign, one that even influences family planning. Despite the overall declining birth rate in Taiwan, the year of the dragon consistently sees a spike in the number of babies born. However, this particular dragon year is expected to be an exception. Yujing Huang has more.
These babies were the first to arrive in 2024, and among the last rabbit babies born under the Chinese zodiac sign of the rabbit. Next up in the cycle is the dragon. This traditionally has meant a spike in the number of babies. The dragon is the most powerful and auspicious of the 12 zodiac signs, and many couples plan to have a baby in a dragon year. But after Taiwan's birth rate hit a new low in 2023, it seems there won't be a rebound in the year of the dragon. Based on the number of prenatal checkups in the bottom half of last year, the dragon year magic is no longer working. Part of the reason is that people no longer put as much stock in traditional beliefs.
我也觉得生肖只是一个文化象征嘛。
可能我没有想要生小孩，对，所以还好，没有什么感觉。
我觉得每个生肖都很好啊，就是每个动物都很可爱。
Since 1976, Taiwan's birth rate has continually dropped, partially because of growing use of birth control in family planning. But fluctuations in the birth rate continue to follow traditional beliefs in Chinese zodiac signs. There are fewer babies born in the year of tiger. This sign is considered unlucky, so tiger people might find themselves not invited to weddings or other celebrations. Births bounce back in the following year of the rabbit, and then climb in the auspicious year of dragon. But this dragon year may be an unusual one for several reasons, one being an effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, when fewer people got married.
Marriage rates have been declining since several years ago. And because marriage and childbearing is still so closely linked in Taiwan and in many East Asian countries, so when there's a continuous decline in marriage counts or marriage rate, usually what we are seeing is that fertility rates will decline together.
To boost the birth rate in Taiwan in the shorter term, an easier way is to encourage married couples that already have one child to have another. But Dr. Jianpei Huang, an obstetrician, says some mothers might not want to have a second child because of imbalanced gender roles, where women don't get the support they need from their partners.
那这个孕期忧郁其实它的发生比例也相当的高，高达20%以上，在国内也是这样。那如果他没有得到一个好的处理的话，这个度过孕期忧郁症的妈咪好像从地狱中好不容易才回来一样，你要她再去生个小孩她是打死都不愿意了。
In previous generations, the year of the dragon helped boost the number of babies, even when the overall birth rate declined. It's a stark reflection on conditions in Taiwan that not even the lure of this magical and powerful sign can get people to want to have children. Justin Wu, P.T. Zhang, and Yujing Huang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is teaming up with NASA to size up and tackle its air pollution problem. John Van Trieste has this report.
3、2、1，启动!
A countdown to cleaner air. With the press of a button, officials launch a high-tech research program aimed at the country's most smog-prone region. Taiwan's far south, centered on Kaohsiung and neighboring Pingdong, is home to heavy industry and power plants. But weather and geography also bring in pollution from as far away as Southeast Asia and trap it there. Scientists want to better understand why this happens and how different weather conditions affect the region's air. And they want a 3D picture. From ground stations to drones to balloons high in the atmosphere, scholars from several institutions plan to analyze the air at different altitudes this spring. It's a project they're calling KPEX. But this is an international effort, and it's not happening in a bubble.
结合 NASA
的一个支持的一个资源，然后再加上呢，也刚好 NASA 在亚洲推动呢空比研究，那我们期望呢以后有更好的一个联系，能够呢获得呢更多更丰富的资料。
NASA's contributing complex scientific equipment to the project. The findings will complement a bigger NASA project to measure air quality across Asia. In a pre-recorded address, a NASA official in Washington explained why it needs the help of local scientists working on the ground in Taiwan, and why satellite data alone won't cut it.
While remote sensing measurements from Earth-observing satellites are important, ground-based measurements are essential to understanding the details of atmospheric transport, chemical transformations, and specific impacts on human health. Ground-based measurements also enable the validation of satellite measurements.
Analyzing Taiwan's air is about more than scientific curiosity. Taiwan's environment minister says the data will have practical uses.
我们也希望我们将来研究之后的成果能够跟国际共享，甚至在未来的气候峰会，我们可以发表这些成果，让邻近的国家可以去注意到他们的工业的发展影响到了邻近环境的空气品质的影响。
Understanding what pollutants are where and when will also help guide future environmental policy, allowing residents of Taiwan's far south to breathe easier. Kama Xu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's workers are giving mixed signals about their satisfaction on the job. A new Labour Ministry survey found nearly 3/4 of people asked were happy with their current work. That number is in sharp contrast to a recent job bank survey, which found nearly 95% of workers wanted to change positions after the Lunar New Year. That's the highest figure in 15 years. To shed some light on the Labour Ministry's survey, our reporter Philip Brassard spoke to Labour expert Roy Nung.
What's your take on the latest survey put out by the Labour Ministry?
We saw in the survey that there is quite a high level of satisfaction among the workers, and there were only a few percentage points which were dissatisfied with their work environment. On a tangible level, Taiwan's workers work one of the longest hours among the advanced countries. They earn one of the lowest and most inadequate pay, and this was also something that was reflected in the survey by the Job Bank. In fact, in the Labour Ministry's survey itself, it was also asked whether people are satisfied with their work hours and their pay. And surprisingly, the satisfaction level is quite high in spite of the long work hours and the low pay that people are getting.
Is it significant that the Labour Ministry asked if people were satisfied with their jobs, while the Job Bank survey asked if people wanted to change their jobs? Is that a significant difference, or is it just two ways of asking the same thing?
It really depends. I think because of the different methodologies that the surveys used and the different questions that they use, they might not give us a very good comparative understanding to the populations. But I think what it does give us as an indication from the Job Bank survey is that there is a relatively high level of degree of dissatisfaction with the current jobs that does not completely match the reality presented by the Ministry of Labour. And there could be other surveys or other qualitative information that needs to be provided to try to make sense of the data. There are already international surveys done on work satisfaction, work engagement. On all these measures, Taiwan does not perform well as compared to other advanced countries. So I would actually think for the Labour Ministry, instead of just presenting a survey without more clear initiatives or policy solutions to address the situation, but just presenting workers as being satisfied, it does not allow the situation to be addressed adequately.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Before we go, pay a visit to the British Museum's new exhibition looking at the lives of Roman soldiers. I'm Reece Ayers, take care and see you next time.